Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Palmer, for his 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's been widely reported about a case in Texas where an autistic child was encouraged by Chatbot to commit violence against their parents. What liability would a platform have if they have not taken steps to correct something like that, and in the future someone actually carries out violence? Dr. Wei?
I think that there's different claims that plaintiffs can make depending on their state. What's interesting is that product liability might be able to be extended in some states to AI chatbots. I don't know if that's possible in Texas, but a failure to intervene, I guess it depends on whether or not it would be a reasonably foreseeable risk at this point.
Well, given that this is widely reported, I would think that every platform would be taking steps immediately to make sure that that didn't happen again. And if they didn't, I mean, I could see criminal charges being brought, that you're that lax in allowing something to happen like that. Let me ask another question. Do generative AI systems go beyond what would be deemed appropriate in collecting information from consumers? And by that, we all are, we're all familiar with Siri and Alexa, and I know that these AI platforms, chatbot platforms, can listen to conversations. They could be listening to a conversation between a husband and wife or business partners. Do they collect that information?
I believe they do, and I think one of the hard things is that they're built to really befriend you, so the sycophancy issue and getting emotionally close. So not only is it just, Siri doesn't seem as sticky as you might call it, but chatbots are very interactive and what's called sticky, which is like emotionally engaging. So
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if we were just having a conversation and we were not aware that the platform, that the chat box is listening and recording, because in some states, you have to have permission to record. In Alabama, you don't, but in Washington, D.C., you have to have permission. So isn't that problematic as well?
Maybe the other panelists can speak more to this. I don't know of AI chatbots passively recording in the room audio, but maybe.
Dr. King?
Congressman, I think it depends on the app you're using. We've gone through this in the past with voice assistants. If you all remember 2018, 2019, when voice assistants became very common, they still exist. They have in fact been more or less retooled for AI purposes. So in that context, if you have a voice assistant in your home or you have one active on your phone, yes, they will pick up ambient conversation. They can record. I think also as we consider the growth of the smart home, people put cameras in their homes. That's another vector for data collection as well.
Let me take this a step further. What if they recorded information about a criminal act? How would that information be handled? Would the platform designers have any responsibility to report that to law enforcement?
Well, if you're talking about a user interacting with a chatbot and trying to commit a criminal act?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying, like, I think we all know that our phones listen to our conversations. If you talk about mountain biking, pretty soon you're going to get an ad for mountain bikes. Somebody won't sell you a mountain bike. If that information is collected and a crime has been discussed without really thinking about who's listening or what's listening, that information is then used for other purposes. Like to sell you a bike or a car or whatever. But what if that information includes information about a crime that has been committed? Would the platform operators have a responsibility to report that to law enforcement? How would that be handled?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think it would depend on whether the software in question can interpret that. For the most part, if I'm using a voice assistant, let's say, and it is recording an interaction I'm having, that data is then stored. And so I think it would depend on the type of crime that you would commit that a system would try to proactively identify. I mean, we know certainly that people engage in criminal behavior all the time on the internet. And so systems, for example, are tuned for looking for CSAM. But whether I'm using a voice assistant while I'm robbing a bank, for example, I'm not sure a
Child
system would be able to
exploitation or human trafficking.
tell that.
Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, I concluded my questions, but I do think we need to do a little deeper dive into this, and at some point. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.